So I'm going to go over day 2 of getting acclimated to the AWS Sumerian, the AWS Educate badge, rather. So this is the first page, and this is video 2, day 2, and I'm going to create a playlist and name them day 1, day 2, so on and so forth. So that might be an easier way to kind of keep track. So we're going to click next to continue. So introduction to Sumerian. Sumerian's a set of tools for creating high quality VR experiences on the web. With Sumerian, you can construct an interactive 3D scene without any programming experience, test it in the browser, and publish it on a website that is immediately available to users. I think it only works best, if not only at all, with Chrome. Let's see, and it's just basically, it's a URL when you finish it, and you don't need any coding skills. You're using the platform, Sumerian platform, and a lot of the stuff is drag and drop, and some of the other resources like Poly and whatnot that AWS offers. Now, having said that, if you do want to use coding skills, there is a way you can do that. For example, we'll get into this a little bit more. There's something called state machines, which is kind of navigating like the interactions and how things work within, the creation you're doing. You can use state machines, or you can use just JavaScript. So you do have the options if you kind of like the coding aspect and just want to work on your coding skills. There is a way to do that. But if you're not a coder and that's not really what your focus is on, then you don't have to use code. So let's see. Let's go ahead and hit play on this.
Hello, my name is Christine. I'm a Sumerian host. Amazon Sumerian lets you create and run virtual reality and augmented reality applications. You can use it to build almost any kind of AR or VR app, such as a virtual training classroom. You can even create a virtual simulation of the surface of Mars. In Sumerian, you can easily create a digital character like me. You can choose my appearance, voice, language, and you can define how I interact with your users. I can do things like narrate a script, respond to questions, and guide users throughout a scene. You can use Sumerian's integration with Amazon Poly to input the text that I'll speak. I can use multiple voices, and I even speak other languages. Sumerian's integration with Amazon Lex gives me automatic speech recognition and natural language understanding. That means I'll be able to understand spoken word and know how to respond to it. That's all for now. If you give Sumerian a try.
Trying to get that. Okay, there we go. So the pathway contains 4 learning modules. Module 1 is Introduction to Mixed Reality in AR VR. And module 2, I can't talk this morning, Getting Started with Sumerian. Module 3 is Deeper Dive into Fundamentals, and module 4 is Additional Resources. Let's go ahead next on this. So the objectives is to describe the fundamentals of mixed reality, describe the purpose of Sumerian service, explore the cases of mixed reality in Sumerian, explore the use cases, understand the tech requirements to utilize Sumerian, explore the Sumerian environment, and design and publish a simple 3D app, setting up a room and adapting an Amazon Sumerian host. So module 1, learning objectives, is to describe the fundamental differences between mixed reality, recall key terms and definitions used with this tech, and identify use cases of mixed reality AR, VR. So what is mixed reality, VR, and AR? Augmented and virtual reality are not new terms in the mainstream, but there is a difference between the two. Augmented reality, they show example of Snapchat lenses and Pokemon Go. Just basically, it's on top of whatever's actually really in life. I'm not a Pokemon Go player, but I am Snapchat user. So if I do it on my own face, it has my face, and then it has whatever kind of filter I choose. And so that is augmented reality. We have the live real version, and then it's like putting filters on top of it. Virtual reality is has let's go back to augmented reality. Augmented reality, you don't really need any kind of special equipment. A phone, will do. Virtual reality does need equipment such as the goggles and any other kind of trigger things. I've not really done a whole lot with VR. It's more with AR just because of the equipment. But VR implies a complete immersion experience that shuts off the physical world. So when you're using like these kind of devices, you're immersed in this is all you see. You don't see what's actually in the room. You just kind of see visually, and a lot of your other senses are seeing this as opposed to what the setting that you're actually in. Mixed reality experience combines the elements of AR and VR. Real world and digital objects interact. Mixed reality technology is just now starting to take off with Hololens, and as one of the most notable early mixed reality apparatuses. I know I met a gentleman. I'm going to make a note of this. I met a gentleman a few months ago. He works at Kenworth in Chillicothe, and he was talking about how they're using HoloLens for their production, just to kind of for the training aspect of it. So I'm going to make a note to try to come, because he said it was actually an article, I'm wanting to think in the Wall Street Journal or New York Times. It's one of those bigger publications. I want to make a note to see if I can find that link and share it in the comments section. Okay. So let's go ahead next. So the glossary of terms. So the terms is, if you're studying for an exam or certification, which I don't think there's any kind of certifications for Sumerian per se, you need to write this stuff down. In my personal opinion, you need to write this stuff down. That's the best way you're going to learn how to, get familiar with the terms, learn what they mean, the definitions, how they're used, all this stuff. That's my personal recommendation. You write it down. Again, there's not really a certification for Sumerian right now, to the best of my knowledge. So if your goal isn't for a certification, I still recommend, writing things down so you have more familiarity. You're more familiar with it. But you may not need to study it like you would if you were actually prepping for an exam. So let's see, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can see assets has the definition. There's another A word, augmented reality, these pound things. It's a number. So those are I'm not going to go through all of this stuff. You guys can do that on your own. So let's go ahead and click next. Use cases part 1. So there are many use cases for implementing virtual reality or augmented reality experience. So let's look at this one right here. Education. If you can look on that, you'll see that there's like a dinosaur and Yoda and just something that makes things more interactive and more engaging. The edutainment factor is the big word nowadays, because we like being entertained, and sometimes just sitting in the classroom being lectured to is kind of dull, and we like to kind of liven it up. But basically, you can build scenes that let you onboard or train employees remotely. Employees can learn in a virtual classroom setting that is led by a host or walk through an environment that mimics their actual working environment. This can help employees retain information better while allowing you to train more employees at a lower cost. So they're talking about a professional setting, but I kind of like the idea of a school setting as well. Training. Build scenes that train skilled employees by simulating real-world scenarios. Employees can get hands-on training in specialized fields such as healthcare, aviation, law enforcement, or industrial machinery. For example, you can create a simulation to train surgeons to use a new kind of surgical equipment. I used to work at Ohio University, Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine, which is Ohio University's medical school. And one of their newer campuses is in the Dublin, Ohio area. And whenever we were doing a tour, whenever the campus was, finished or close to being finished, and they were showing us all these really cool labs that they were using tools like this, because investing in the the dummies, the mannequins, or whatever, some of the stuff that they're needing to do. The Sims, I don't know, whatever those things are that, that cost a lot of money. And it maybe did not allow for all the experiences that would students would be able to get through through VR training. So it's medical school and for surgeons and healthcare, aviation, law enforcement, all of those things help provide better training for those in those particular fields. Field service productivity, build scenes that improve the productivity of field and service workers in areas like repair, engineering, oil and gas, manufacturing, and more. For example, you can build an AR app that helps technicians troubleshoot and repair machinery. Looking through a mobile device screen, a user could see diagnostic metrics or animations of how to perform a repair on top of the machine. This is what I think that Kenworth is doing. I'll find the article in the video, and I'll put it, like I said, in the comments below. It's really neat, and just I remember years ago when I worked at Riverfront Honda, which is a small ATV dealership, that their technician, their service, the service shop, the workshop, mechanic shop, whatever, like Polaris, they were giving diagnostic tools to the mechanics because the machinery, the ATVs and the side-by-sides and the motorcycles, as computerized as they are becoming, they need these kind of tools to help diagnose, I cannot talk this morning, diagnose some of the things that are malfunctioning in the equipment for their customers. And like I said, the more and more in depth with computers that they are becoming, the more technical that they are. Mechanics don't necessarily have increased training for those more computerized things. But the diagnostic tools, I don't think they had anything like this, not when I was there. But they did have a diagnostic tool that they can kind of plug in and would help them, figure out what exactly is wrong with the machine. So let's look at some more. Water and coffee.
Hi, Christine.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Sumerian Concierge Experience. Let me show you to your seat, Aiko Nakano.
Close floor plan. Show info.
You can always ask Show Info to come back to this page.
Thank you.
Of course.
And so virtual concierge, build scenes with a host that acts as a concierge to your end users for almost any industry. So they can greet users, answer common questions, and guide users through your company's services and offerings. And so you can see like bigger hotels using something like this. Because, sometimes, there's a line to the front desk and we have a simple question, something like that could really come in handy. Let's see, design and creative. Yeah, there's not a video there. Build scenes that aid in the creation of new products or creative assets. Designers, creative professionals, and business professionals can use VR, AR to visualize and review mock-ups of a design as though it was real, helping to improve the efficiency of the product design cycle. In retail and sales, build scenes that help you market and sell your product. I know Amazon has, the Amazon store, not AWS. it has a service, like if you want to look how a particular furniture will look in your room, you can take it, I think it's take a picture of your room. I think I've used it once. And you take a picture of your room and you select like the couch or whatever it is that you're wanting to put in there, and just to see how it looks, like how it would fit and all of that stuff. It was really cool. But you can kind of see what it's going to look like in your house before you buy it. Let's see. And it talks about the White House Historical Association. They're using Sumerian. I'm not going to kind of bypass this. You can read that. So module 1 quiz. And you can see, okay, I don't always get them all right. They changed the quizzes, the questions. So it's not like a memorization game. So let's see. Let's see how much I remember. A blank is an asset provided by Sumerian that has built-in animation, speech, and behavior for interacting with users. Host. To create a VR experience, a photographer or videographer captures an image or video using several cameras and then blank the images together to create one complete 360-degree experience. And this is one I always miss, unless I get it by just a guess. And this is why you need to look at the vocabulary. I'm going to say Google Maps. I think they call it Stitch. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. Microsoft HoloLens is one of the most notable early blank. It was virtual reality. Yeah. This augmented reality is on your phone. Virtual reality, you need the headgear and whatnot. What is mixed reality? Is any combination of VR and augmented reality. The movie Avatar is a great example of I never see the movie Avatar. So I really don't know what. I'm going to go with mixed. I have no idea. It wasn't virtual reality because you can see it in the movie theater. It wasn't content delivery network. An augmented reality. I don't know. I'm going to go with mixed because you can see it in the movie theater. Let's see what I got. And I got, which one is it latest? Attempt 6, 2 minutes. I got 3 out of 5. So I got this one right. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I got 1 out of 1 point. I got this right. Okay. Ooh, and I did get this right. This is what Google Maps calls it whenever you kind of getting off sidetrack here, but there's an app within with Google. It's called not Google Maps. Google. Oh shoot, what's it called? Let me tell you. Google Street View, and you can take it like a 360 view. It's kind of a slow process because you got to get like every single 360 image, and it stitches it together. And that's the only reason I know that. That's a guess. Oh, I got that incorrect. I was kind of confident on that one. So I want to make a note. And this is the process. One of the reasons I'm like making this video and recording this is like, this is the process. So HoloLens is apparatus for VR, not VR. So I'm just going to kind of make a note of what I need so I can look it up. It could be AR, it could be MR for mixed reality. Don't think it's streaming, but maybe I'm wrong. Evidently, I'm wrong on that. And let's see, I got this one right. And like I said, I've never seen the movie, have no idea. But let's see. I've already passed it once, kept score, so it keeps the highest score. Trying to see if it'll tell you where to find the answers. I'm not thinking so. So let's go back to modules. Okay, so this is module 1. Okay, we already did that. Glossary of terms. I'm not going through all of those, but you know, for this video purpose. Let's see. I'm gonna be bypassing what I'm supposed to be looking at. Yeah, I missed it. I gotta open up one of those. And one of the reasons I'm actually recording this way, I could spend the time to actually know exactly the answers to everything. You know, so whenever I record this video, and I get them all right the first time around, it's all perfection. But I think it's important that you see me muck up, because, you know, this is like the reality of it. And it does take a little bit longer, and, you know, for the whole video. But you know, sometimes we see, you know, videos showing how to do something, and we think it looks so cool, and that how, you know, we're not that good because we fumble a lot in real life, like you see me doing right now. I know I've seen it somewhere. But I think it's important to just show the process. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Okay, HoloLens. Now they talked about HoloLens. HoloLens, mixed reality. Ah, there it was. Okay, mixed reality experience with HoloLens. Okay, so let's take this quiz again. And the answers and the questions change. Okay, so it's all possible use cases for the application of VR, AR, mixed reality. Retails and sales, options, listens, virtual, yeah, options. Select examples of assets that you might use within a VR, AR tool, such as Sumerian. So there's sounds in there, there's images, there's scripts, and then there's models. Yep. You'll see that as you start playing with it. What is mixed reality? Combination of VR and AR. And to create a VR experience, a photographer, a 360 stitches, because that's what Google does. And what is AR? I am a fast reader, and I've done these quizzes, like this is my 7th attempt so far. So I've done this. I'm not expecting you to go into them this quick, but I've done this like several times, and I am typically a fast reader. So what is AR? Augmented reality is overlaying content on top of the real world. So hit submit quiz. Get latest 7, 5 out of 5. And actually, that's the only 5 out of 5 I've gotten. So that's awesome. And I did that live. So this is the end of this video, module 1. If you have any questions on module 1, you know, let me know. Reach out. My cell phone number is 740-300-1684. Feel free to text me. And you know, I know it can get kind of boring when you're learning about terminology and all that stuff, but this is really fun. This is super fun. So hopefully you have fun too. So until next time. Bye-bye.